Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Today, as you could tell from the title, you probably know before I do right now of how today's workout will go. So we've got a 30-minute at rate 20. This workout itself won't be based on the critical power, but it will help the critical power data become that little bit more accurate if it wasn't accurate already, because this type of test should help in those calculations that I'm not doing because I'm not a professional physiologist. Fortunately, Scottish Rowing and Scottish Institute has a physiologist to work on that data for us to do the science. And the science can be very important to make sure you're working out in the right intensities. But now, what I have to do is stick my mask on before I get into the building, scan the QR code to register for the things, get my hands sanitized, get my thermometer checked, get my temperature checked, and then we get on the erg for a little bit of a half hour, rate 20. I'm interested to see how this goes because it's been a few weeks since my last one and the last score surprised me. I think it was in the 41s. So fingers crossed, Yamsquad. Let's see how we get on and I'll see you after. Oh yeah! And that is the half an hour finished. Decent score, faster than the last one by about half a split, so pretty happy with that. And the way I did it as well, you probably saw the heart rate there pretty high. Not max, but usually in my half hours I'll take big chunks out of it, bigger than today. I did negative split today. I think I started at 43s and then finished reasonably quickly, but usually my heart rate will be lower for the first 10 minutes and then build up, whereas this week it was about 170 through 10 minutes, which I was thinking to myself, oh, have I bitten off too much today? But turns out I was able to hold it and still push the splits down. What we can do with that is take the data from the stroke rate, for the heart rate, the power data on the ErgData app, and then put that into sort of the calculations and the science to get some more critical power data behind the training, so we can again make those intensity bands more accurate for me as an individual and the guys training here as well. And also with the, as you saw in the stroke rate data on the side, hopefully, if it all worked well, the length of strokes. I've had a couple of questions on stroke lengths over different pieces, and this piece, 30 minutes, lower rate, 20-ish, you saw that the stroke length was hitting around 1.7 meters a stroke, which is, I think, is pretty high. I don't generally look at the stroke length for pieces, but it's quite interesting to see what length my strokes are in different rates, different pieces. So on the other day with the 1250s, the stroke rate was obviously higher and the stroke length was obviously lower because I'm taking more strokes per minute. We've got a lovely ice cream van here once again at Strathclyde Park. Maybe a post-piece snack one day, but not today because we've got different food, because remember, food is fuel. Today, back to stroke length. It's interesting to see different pieces, different stroke lengths, but can I hold the same stroke length, say today was 20-ish, can I hold that same stroke length at 2K rate, say 40? Well, in theory, that would make it really fast, but you have to be strong enough and fit enough to hold that extra stroke length through the whole piece, and that's generally why I'll be a little bit lower rate in the higher, lower stroke length in the higher rates. So I'll take more strokes a minute, but the stroke length will be lower. But then you go into the whole sort of discussion about, well, if I lower the rate and get that balance between covering the distance, so a little bit less stroke length, but a little bit more rate, but not too much rate and too much or too little stroke length, if that makes sense. So getting that balance of where the distance covered is the same and you're being as efficient as possible. Hopefully that all makes sense. Let me know in the comments below what you think of stroke rate. Let me know stroke rate and stroke length. Let me know in the comments below what your stroke length is. Bye, Jack. Let me know in the comments below what you're getting for your stroke lengths, what you think about stroke lengths, and that will be it for today's episode, Yamsquad. A little bit of a half hour, doing more ergs, getting through sort of the, going into winter training really with a little bit more ergs. So the half hour, the 1250s for 2K prep. We do have a 2K incoming in about 4 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how that compares to previous 2Ks. And going off of today's half hour, like I said, my PB is 39.4, which I did beginning of this year, March-ish. Today was 40.8, and previously, maybe last month, I did 41.3 or 5, I think. So the splits are coming down. As long as I can consistently take little chunks off, whether it's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, etc., then we can get back to that PB shape. Just making sure recovery is good, sleep, food, because remember, food is fuel, and all of that. And as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next episode.